Hi, good afternoon. My name is Joe Boschulte, Commissioner of Tourism for the United States Virgin Islands.
Thanks for giving us some time. That was a great press conference you just gave there. Got to start with the basics. Tell us a little bit about basically kind of USVI.
Happy to give some information on the U.S. Virgin Islands. St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John are the three major islands in the United States Virgin Islands. We have a population of 88,000 people. We sit in the Caribbean, about 20 minutes from where we are right now in Puerto Rico to get to us, just to familiarize people with where we are. But we get almost 2 million plus visitors a year that come to our islands. We had been a very strong cruise destination before the pandemic, and now we have a much more balanced portfolio with the COVID period. Many people have come to the territory as overnight guests, have found that they really enjoy the U.S. Virgin Islands for that. And our marine business is super strong. Charter business, super mega yacht business across the board, doing really, really well for us. And we're thankful. We're thankful that we were fortunate that our health protocols held relatively to most other places. Our destination was open and receptive to visitors throughout the pandemic, which is why you see many of the pieces that we're number one. The United States Virgin Islands has been number one for the pandemic, or in the top 2 or 3, depending on which ones. And even now, as we move into 22 in the second half, we're running number one. And many of the pieces in terms of ADR, interests. And I think a lot of it has to do with, for a long time, people may have known of us through cruise, but now they're figuring out, wow, I could go to St. Thomas or St. Croix or St. John and spend 5 to 7 nights, get out, see the people, enjoy myself. And if you're a U.S. citizen, no passport necessary, U.S. dollar, speak English, health card works, ATM card works. And the reason why I go through that when we have conversations is, as we came out of the pandemic, we sort of began to go back to the basics. I want to make sure my ATM card works. I want to make sure my health card works. I want to make sure that people can understand me when I communicate, and we have all of that.
You've answered some of my questions brilliantly already, so that's super. Getting more into the weeds, I guess. You've been doing some really innovative stuff recently around sort of trying to reach kind of new demographics, and you've got a great new campaign running.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, one of the challenges for us, or opportunities for us, as we move into the endemic phase of COVID-19, or I like to call it the correction. So we had many things that were set up. Europe was closed for a long time. Asia is still pretty much closed. But the U.S. market has been open. People have been traveling. So now as we move into sort of what people normally do. So people have places that and I'm talking to U.S. travel because that's 90% of our business, where people generally go. They tend to go back to. And this summer was the first check the box of the correction. So, different parts of the country that did really, really well in the pandemic, people started to go back to the Northeast for the summer and do other things. And for us, we take this as an opportunity to diversify our pool. So we normally have been 55, 58 plus destination, particularly in the high season, because we are a higher end destination. But what we found is that we began to market aggressively during the pandemic to the millennial and Gen Z population. And at least for me, surprisingly enough, they were very receptive to the U.S. Virgin Islands, and moreover, very appreciative of having options set up for them. So they weren't afraid to spend. And then we also recognize that there is a need as we move forward as a tourism destination to diversify our pool across the board. So we did a wonderful activation at Made in America, which is Jay-Z's concert in Philadelphia the last couple of years. Phenomenal activation for us at USVI. We've seen tremendous interest and demand already out of it. We did it last year. This year was even bigger. And we did a big activation with Sports Illustrated in the swimsuit issue. We had 25 pages. So we're doing things that are opening up the USVI to much of the United States that may not have been as familiar to us.
That's fantastic. And just to close, you made a reference to shiny new toys.
Yes.
So tell us about those.
We always have this joke amongst us in the tourism business that, in order to keep your destination on the rise, you gotta have shiny new toys. And shiny new toys are hotel properties. So anytime you see a new hotel property come on, people are like, hey, yeah, we gotta go there. So we do have our French's Reef property, 500 rooms that was destroyed in our hurricanes in 2017, coming back online late this year, early next year. We're excited. Has been with its location one of the most known locations in St. Thomas. If you've been to St. Thomas, the cruise ships pass it, you see it. Opening up as a Western property in the upper side, an autograph collection. If you're familiar with Marriott Bonvoy, great property. We had a property open in St. Croix, the DV, only all-inclusive earlier this year. Great reviews so far that we're hearing. A couple other properties that were bought that we expect to see work happening. So we're finally, hopefully, knock on wood, seeing. We were coming out of the hurricane recovery and then COVID hit. And now we're coming out of COVID and now we keep moving on. And I just say, it's great to be in the tourism business because as we continue to be resilient, at least we can smile and enjoy a wonderful place to be resilient in.
Listen, anyone hearing this interview is just going to be clicking book right now to come and see you. So thanks so much for giving us your time.
Thank you. Look forward to welcoming you. High five.